You don't show. Oh. Right back. On the other side, take on that's why. But on the other side, you're kind of okay. Sì, se non la prendo.
Let those KJV 875 black RSH 968 is KJV
On two. Good morning, distinguished scholars, ladies and gentlemen. Please, we want to respectfully invite all those with academic gowns to please move outside for the procession to commence.
Prof, good afternoon. Good morning.
So we welcome you
So
to this very important academic program.
now.
You know where?
Oh, when I got a lot of Prof.
Those without
First of all, the citation will come before you. So that means your own will come first.
to the other numbers.
I can stay here and deal with it.
That's
Yes, just come to the
purely for those that are well loved. This an appeal, please. Thank you. Please, the committee members to provide us with the program. The program, please. This will be the first of its kind in the history of this university.
You want the file?
No, you connect it direct to your system.
Okay. To play, right?
Yes.
So should I hand it over to you?
So we welcome those that are here.
It's again a presentation.
I can see people from all walks of life. Yeah, brother, we welcome you.
No, just for rent control.
Oh, beautiful. All of the laser.
Yes. Bring that. Bring it.
Okay,
Ah. Come with this from that distance.
So we welcome one of our employers here present, Professor Ifeanyi, Council Member.
This just live show.
No, it's this is what can I just come from the system.
Lecture.
Thank you.
Lecture.
My dear mother, I salute you. Great lady. And of course, he's also a university inaugural lecturer. It is not easy. The immediate Pastor Commissioner for Education is also here. We salute you. Professor, yes, we welcome you.
What is it in this environment?
Yes, she's of the Faculty of Social Sciences. We salute you.
They know about now.
We're not even there is not
the show.
I said again, no. Good to see you once more. It is not easy. We will be recognizing people accordingly as we make progress. Please permit me to
come see the show for television.
People that are not well dressed, you know what I mean, well dressed academically. So please sit accordingly.
Now, for TV on the show.
Is for those that
check very closely.
Please. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
So please, somebody should be directing people accordingly. Please, if you are the owner of this car, Honda car, black in color, RSH 960 AD. Please, kindly go and repart. Please, the protocols will do well to collect things.
Give him outside.
Yes,
Find that boy, find that guy that let him bring that the lesson. For PowerPoint. I gave him.
And of course, the groups
The boy went outside, you go see him outside.
that are also here.
On your camera too, yeah.
Professor Wabane, I can see you there. Formerly environmental science, engineering. Sorry, I don't know why I always place in engineering. Now, environmental. Not if you like the plain things. With a little, sir. Formerly, no. The wife of the immediate past Vice Chancellor of this university is also here, Professor Adinma. We salute you. We welcome you. In a few minutes' time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession will come in. It will match in colors, it will match in a special way, because today is really special.
No, I need to go.
We welcome you.
Get that boy in
And we get ready for the
get you rest, so that's the agile control PowerPoint.
So,
You can't put a laptop up.
See the way you care. I remember top for your head.
I want to
Evening veil.
How about before?
Let me to bed.
I know. Yeah.
See the way.
I can also see Professor and the I salute you all from Ifeanyi. You are welcome. One, two.
See,
1, 2.
ego. I talk in on the new bar. You could control the bring that back. Now you're supposed to explain now. Now I want to you go see me. Oh, the side. Yeah. I just say it. You just it's okay. Stage now. Next stage. Yes, okay. Elect something out of the way. It's okay. You can also this side. Yes. Just get back now.
Welcome.
Okay.
Professor Oliver.
Come on.
Is that I'm correct?
Don't worry, don't
We
worry.
welcome you, Professor Oliver, is the director of research.
Now,
Medical research, all the way from Lagos. So we welcome you. Now doing this research is
Assim, you can go there. So I got to do I got the citation. Joy, make this system. This one doesn't make no day.
So those that are so that will continue to recognize them.
Okay.
Accordingly.
Time to one.
We also recognize those outside of the room. Welcome and recognize you in your numbers. We are all together here. Hello. Whether you are outside of the room or inside, we are all parts of this epoch-making program. The first of its kind in the history of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. As we all know, the lecture is going to be delivered by our own dear Professor Joseph Ifeanyi Adinma. He's going to be the first Jubilee lecture presenter in the history of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. The university system is known for scholarship. The university system is known for innovations. The university system is known for good things. And Nnamdi Azikiwe University remains here today.
Okay, this one into this slide.
The hands of innovation service.
And even if it's possible,
And the government from now is English
and put inside the yes, you understand.
will move it. Using this. And the procession is led by the Vice Chancellor himself, Professor Charles Azikiwe, for the Academy of Science. The Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. There's the realize the academic session.
Yeah, distinguished ladies and gentlemen,
Lord, I want to be
oh, when I say about you can see the procession marching in. You can also see the Jubilee lecturer marching in. It is beautiful. It is not easy. The Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. Professor Charles Okechukwu Simone, Fellow Academy of Science. Can also see the Deputy Vice Chancellor marching in.
when the saints are oh Lord, I want, oh Lord, I want.
You can also see the wife of the Jubilee presenter, Professor Adinma. We salute you. You are welcome.
The saints are marching when the saints are marching. Oh Lord, I want to be when the saints are marching. Oh, I want to be When the stage does oh Lord, I want, oh Lord, I want to be down above. When the stage
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please may we take the national anthem. Thank you very much. Music song. Thank you very much. Please, may we be. Yeah, may I call on Professor Okoye to please lead us in the opening prayer.
Let us pray. In the name of God the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Our precious Father, we just want to say thank you. What a beautiful day you have made for us. That we are alive in the land of the living, O God, to celebrate your Son today, Lord, is of your making. And we return our glory unto you in the name of Jesus. Father, we hand over, O God, this public lecture over to you. Wisdom comes from you. Therefore, Lord, we ask that you envelop your servant with your wisdom from on high. Father, that let
Thank you very much, dear Professor Okoye, member of the University Council. Thank you very much. Mr. Vice Chancellor and the chairman on today's occasion are on their Professor Charles Okechukwu Esimone, Fellow Academy of Science, and the 6th substantive Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, here present. Please, may we appreciate the Vice Chancellor. We thank you and we salute you, sir. On the permission of the chairman on today's occasion, and of course the Vice Chancellor of our great university, may I quickly recognize a number of people that are here. Though this may not be conclusive, we do that as we do progress. That is to say, we'll take some names so that we don't leave the program so boring. And of course, we know that it's a pure academic program. Therefore, we have to follow pure academic protocol. But permit me, Mr. Vice Chancellor and Chairman, to recognize, place in no particular order, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of our university, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, Professor Joseph Ikechabalo. We welcome you, sir. We know you are around. You came in with a procession. May I also welcome the Provost College of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Professor G.O. Udigwe. We welcome you, sir. We welcome you. No. We also welcome Professor Obiechina. Professor Obiechina, we welcome you. I say again, no. May I also welcome my very, very elder brother, mentor, Emeritus Professor O.O. Mbono. We welcome you. Past CMO, Nnamdi Azikiwe University Teaching Hospital. We salute you, sir. CMD. You know, I'm of the social sciences and all these science related. Yes, I'm also, you know. Thank you, sir. We welcome you, sir. We also have Professor SNC Anyango. We welcome you. Wow. Sir, you are welcome. Permit me also to welcome Professor B.O. Nwosu, the Dean of Medicine, is also here. Our Dean, we welcome you. Professor Jatex Obi is also here with us. We welcome you, sir. Professor Oke Ikpeze, former provost, we welcome you. Good to see you, sir. No, sir. Former council member of this great university, we welcome you. Professor Oliver Ezechi is the Director of Research, Nigerian Institute of Medical Researches, all the way from Lagos. we welcome you. Dr. Mercy Anugu. Dr. Anugu is the acting MD, Federal Medical Center, Onitsha. And again, no. You are welcome. May we welcome the royal entourage all the way from Neni, sorry, His Royal Majesty, Igwe Damian Ezani, Igwe Ugonabo, na Neni, very fine man. Call me, I cannot resist to be a fine man. We salute you, sir. We also welcome Chief Sir Edwin Ezude. We welcome you. We welcome Sir Christian Ikebodo, the President General, Newi Town Union. So they have been relating in Newi, that is the problem here. Neni Town Union. So we welcome you, sir. And then Sir Oliver Oyedum, we welcome you. We also welcome the director of Okawindo on America, Professor Ike Odimegu. We welcome you, the Suez director, Professor Dennis Aribodo. We welcome you. So please, protocol, avail me of names so that I don't make unnecessary mistakes. We also welcome the Dean of Basic Clinical Sciences, Professor Igwebike Onyoha. We welcome you. We welcome you. Sorry, we are also trying to get one and the other things together so that once we start, we move on without hitches. We also welcome Professor Neka Abakoba, past Deputy Provost, College of Health Sciences. We welcome you. The wife of the former Vice Chancellor of our university, the immediate past for that matter, Professor Glad Ahaneku is also here. We welcome you. Professor K.O. Eze, the immediate past Dean of Medicine, is also here. We welcome you, sir. May we welcome Dr. E.A. Afiabigwe. We welcome you, sir. The Chairman of Medical Alumni, UNIZIC. We welcome you. Thank you, sir. We also welcome Professor Gwago, former Provost, Federal College of Education, Technical Umunze. We welcome you, sir. We also have in our midst, of course, this is a special recognition of the chairman of UNIZIC Inaugural Lecture Committee, Professor Richard Uwakwe. Please, a special round of applause for him. We welcome you, sir. We also welcome Professor Emeka Ezama. We welcome you, Prof. No. Please, we will be taking the recognitions as we move on, but permit me to welcome the university bossa, Mr. Gozie Iguatu. We welcome you, sir. We welcome you. Please permit me to move the program forward. We'll continue to recognize people accordingly. On this note, Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to invite in a special way the chairman of UNIZIK Inaugural Lecture Committee, Professor Richard Uwakwe, to please come forward first to introduce the first Jubilee lecturer just for normal recognition, and of course his beautiful wife, the smiling wife of the Adinma. So please, Professor Uwakwe, you come and introduce them. Then after the introduction, you will now formally invite the Vice Chancellor and the Chairman on today's program, Professor Charles Okechukwu Esimone, Fellow Academy of Science, to come forward to declare the program open. The Chairman.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Joseph Ifeanyi Adinma is here to present the first UNIZIK Jubilee Academic Lecture. The assembly is now properly constituted. May I invite you to come forward and declare the program open. Professor Adinma, please. Professor IB Adinma and Professor H. Adinma, kindly come forward. Yes. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, now that this academics assembly is properly constituted, may I honorably invite you to call this assembly to order. Mr. VC, sir.
Vice Chancellor Charles says, carry your stable. Vice Chancellor Charles says, we didn't call you.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Senate, on behalf of the Council and Congregation of our great university, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, it is my pleasure and singular honor to call this first Jubilee Academic Lecture Assembly to order. It's now open for discussion.
Please, another round of applause for our amiable Vice Chancellor. Mr. Vice Chancellor, all distinguished scholars and guests, may I inform all of us that this program is being streamed live all over the world, and we have participants from all over the world. So it is a hybrid program, and this is what Nnamdi Azikiwe University is known for. And of course, that is why we have moved from 2,000 position to 31st position in the sub-Saharan Africa. It is not easy. And of course, the fourth in Nigeria. All glory to God and great thanks to our amiable and ever resourceful Vice Chancellor, Professor Charles Okechukwu Esimone. We salute you, sir. Having declared this innovative program open, and having granted us the grace to move on, it is my honor and privilege, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to invite the chairman on today's occasion and to the glory of God, the sixth substantive Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Professor Charles Okechukwu Esimone, to please come forward for the Vice Chancellor's opening remarks. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir.
Thank you very much. The Provost College of Health Sciences, the deans in the faculties of health sciences, the heads of departments in that faculty, the deputy provost, the former CMDs, former provosts, and all the medical giants that have gathered today at Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Ibenne, Igwe Neni, and your cabinet, the PG, and make it on Nozo Poriche. Today, Boo, a very important day. And we're here to hear him out, to support him, and to give glory to God on his behalf. So I thank you. Deans and directors of other faculties. I can see my very powerful erudite director of Awka Window in America, and other guests who are here. Please, the protocol has been well established by God. I've already wasted more than enough time. First, I want to welcome every one of us, our great students of Unizik, of the greatest Unizik students. Yes, I can see our very wonderful medical students and students from the College of Health Science in general. They are all here. I don't know how you were able to make it here so early from Newe, but I think it shows dedication to the thing that we're going to do today. So I thank you all in a special way. Today is a very unique day. As you will have heard, this is the first Jubilee academic lecture that Nnamdi Azikiwe University is organizing. And if we check, because I want somebody to quickly check, I want you to Google and confirm whether there is any other university in Nigeria that has held Jubilee academic lecture. If you see it, then please let me know before I step down from this podium. I want to let you know that it's on record that Nnamdi Azikiwe University is the first, and very soon others will be following. Jubilee academic lecture is exclusively for professors who have been professors for the past 25 years, minimum of 25 years, and they are still serving in the university. It's a very tall one. If you have professed, more as vice chancellor, I have not professed for 20 years even. I was just counting. Oh, I'm not rich. So we're all aspiring to profess for 25 years and still be serving in the university. And then you come and tell us what you have been doing for that past 25. It's different from a or to the community as a professor to the town and the gang. This one is a professor who has been for 25 years and is active in service. He has not expired. He has not retired while in service. And there are some professors who have retired while they're in service. Are they making any research? No new publication. But this one is for a professor who is in the system 25 years, is still very much very active. And I'm very proud, I'm very happy to be associated with the very first ever Jubilee academic lecturer in our university. And as I said, check out in the entire Nigeria, Professor Joseph Brian Adinma. You are not just an example, you are not just a pace setter, but you are an example that is living, an example that we are seeing. I want us to appreciate you in a very special way. And you know, we say that beside every successful man, you find a very powerful, a very progressive woman. And I can say of our wife, because, you know, Dolly is our wife. I know we crossed 7 rivers and 7 seas, you know, to bring her. And she has been fulfilling her role very well in every ramification. And that's why Brian is looking younger every day, and the brain is still very hot. If you have any discussion with Brian on any topic whatsoever, you'll be amazed about the depth, you know, that this professor can go to. It shows that the wife is really doing a good work. Yes, both within and outside in official hours. So I thank you very much, Dolly. I'm also excited that, you know, we got this approval, you know, from Senate. And initially we're thinking that is going to be, you know, something that we'll be able to fund as the university. But I want to put it on record that Professor Adinma has set a very wonderful record. Not only, I don't know how he got the funding, because by the time we planned this, it's an university where we go, we want to lecture, we want to promote academics, but we don't have funding for this. He came to me a couple of times. He told me, visit, don't worry, that I have trained students. I have mentored so many people. And my mentees have agreed that they will fund this. So what we are seeing today is a product of the several mentees. They will still be recognized. They will still be recognized at a different time of this professor. And I tell our colleagues who are here, please leave good legacies so that our children will be proud to be associated with us, even as we are aging in the system. When he told me how these children, how this is, you know, mentees rallied around to plan this and to, you know, everything, every expenses there, and they're going to do more, which he's going to, he has told me in confidence, and they will announce it here. He's a role model for all of us, you know, to emulate. Let the good works that you do so shine amongst men, amongst your students, amongst your peers, amongst your colleagues. So when they see the good work you are doing, they will not only glorify God, but they will also show appreciation to man, as they are doing today in the life of Brian Adinma. So I want to thank this professor for being a model that I can point to. I said, please follow him, follow this, follow his footsteps. We can boldly say that this first Jubilee academic lecture is going to be a pace setter for all of us, for Nigeria, for even the world. And beyond this, we're expecting that the proceeds, the lessons that we're going to learn from this lecture will be put in practice in our nation. Our nation has come to a level where we need help from experts. And I've said it in several fora that even if they don't request for that help, we have come to a point where we'll be offering the help. We're not asking you again whether you need it. We'll tell you that this is what we are contributing. And the intellectual knowledge is Very important contribution that we can all give to our nation, to give to our state, give to our institution. The nation needs our help. In every sphere where we are, you know, the university orator was saying is in social sciences, political science. And I'm saying that everybody, Monday political sciences, I can accuse politics, the science of politics. Politics are brought to Politics has decorum. And I think that our political scientists can also help us to teach us, beginning from university politics. University politics now is becoming like APC, PDP. Very terrible thing. We have not seen that before, but we should contribute. This nation needs help at every strata, at every level. People should know what, to contribute at every point in time. And what our dear Professor Brian Adinma is contributing in his own area, in gynecology, is very unique, and we appreciate him. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished colleagues, and our friends and well-wishers who have come from different parts, and those who have joined us online as this program is being streamed, I want to assure you that today's first Jubilee academic lecture is going to be very exciting. We're going to gain a lot from it. Let us sit back, relax, and make up our minds to take away several messages. We're going to have several take-home messages. On behalf of my wonderful management, on behalf of the Senate and the Council, as I've said before, it's my singular pleasure to welcome us all to enjoy our first Jubilee academic lecture by Professor Brian Adinma. Thank you very much.
Vice Chancellor Charles Simone Odukana Chukwu, carry us they go. Chukwu, Vice Chancellor Charles Simone Odukana Chukwu, reading for you.
Thank you. Please, another round of applause for the Vice Chancellor and Chairman on today's occasion. We welcome you, sir. We salute you, sir, and we celebrate you, sir. Mr. Chairman, kindly permit me to recognize Professor Emmanuel Akwezilo of this great university, retired Dean of Education. He's here with us. He has been here with us. So we salute and welcome you, sir. You are welcome. We also welcome Professor Sam C. Melodo, former Dean, Basic Natural Medical Sciences. We welcome Professor Chidum Ezenwaka, visiting professor in diaspora from Trinidad and Tobago. We welcome you, sir. Associate Professor T.U. Mberi, Chief Coordinator, all the way from Newi, Unizik. We salute you. We welcome you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we want to take special academic performance by the Department of Theater Arts of our great university, because here we teach and we demonstrate. So let us sit back and watch this great academic performance. Thank you. May I also welcome in a special way, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the immediate past Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic for our university, Professor Frederick Odibo. We welcome you, sir. And of course, special advisor to the Vice Chancellor. We salute you on academic matters. We welcome you, sir. Biko Koloniaka. Dalo, sir. Dalo. The performance, please.
We may not be
Oh, we have feelings. We are like you. Oh, why treat us this way? No to women maltreatment. No to women maltreatment. No to women crisis. No to women crisis. No to mutilation. No to intimidation. Women are big. Oh, we have feelings. We are like you. Oh, why treat us this way? No to women maltreatment. No to women maltreatment. No to women crisis. No to women crisis. No to intimidation. No to mutilation. Women are big. Oh, we are feelings. We are like you. Oh, why treat us this way? No to women maltreatment. No to women maltreatment. No to women crisis. No to women crisis. No to intimidation. No to mutilation. Women are beings. Oh, we are feelings. We are like you. Oh, why treat us this way? No to women maltreatment. No to women. No to women crisis. No to women crisis. No to intimidation. No to mutilation.
Your condition. Did you know these small children, under 8 children that are heavily pregnant? They are doing hard work. And you're here, you like the parents of contract. I think you pay the people. Will you come back here, woman? You see how stupid you are. You see how stupid you are. Yes. You're waiting for me. Before you come first. Before you see my people. How did you have wasted you are? Yes?
Condition.
And I'll call it again.
Okay, well, if you are so hardworking enough, go to the kitchen and step your
Shut up! Are you normal? Can you imagine this woman that I married with my money, my hard-earned money? She had the guts to tell me to go to the kitchen. A chief like me, a high-class man like me, to go to the kitchen and serve myself. Woman, can't you see you're mad? And I will slap you again. In fact, to hell with you and that food. I'm not eating again.
We may not be, oh, we have feelings. We are like you, oh. Why treat us this way? No to women maltreatment. No to women maltreatment. No to women crisis. No to women crisis. No to intimidation. No to mutilation. Women are beings. Oh, we have feelings. We are like you, oh. Why treat us this way? No to women maltreatment. No to women maltreatment. No to women crisis. No to women crisis. No to intimidation. No to mutilation. Women are beings. Oh, we are feelings. We are like you. Oh, Why treat us this way? No to women maltreatment. No to women maltreatment. No to women crisis. No to women crisis. No to intimidation. No to mutilation. Women are beings. Oh, we have feelings. We are like you. Oh, why treat us this way? No to women maltreatment. No to women maltreatment. No to women crisis. No to women crisis. No to intimidation. No to mutilation.
No.
Knock, knock, knock.
Yeah.
Knock, knock, knock. Hey,
Thank you very much.
how are you now?
I'm fine. Now.
Jubilee, fine. And okay, you did not tell me. Now. If I told you, you will not come now. You know you're heavily pregnant. I am sorry now. Sorry. So gist me now. Where did you register for antenatal? You like all the big places. Big hospitals. Get that one, Joe. I did ask you something. Where did you register for antenatal now? Is it clinic? Is what?
Mama now. Mama do you want that? Mama do you want to have one house? Or one room in a house?
Mama Ikutu. Oh God.
How long that helps pregnant women to deliver? Do you want that helps Mama beggar?
Quiet, and you've been saying rubbish since. What do you mean, Mama Ikutu? Is she a midwife?
No, man.
Is she a nurse?
No.
Is she a doctor? What are you saying? Does she have the right equipment? So you know all the good gynecologists in town, good hospitals, good clinics, even midwife to go and register your antenatal with one local woman.
Man.
You want to kill yourself?
That's how their family do it.
Don't tell me that the family do it. You don't endanger your life. Even the life of your unborn child.
No, many bodies.
I'm so disappointed.
No,
People really brainwashed you. Husband have brainwashed you.
I'll be fine.
What do you mean you'll be fine? With all your education and everything. I'm a baby, don't disappoint me.
It's not if I don't know what to say.
Then what's the problem?
No, man.
What?
Every single time I think of this issue, my husband beats me. He has every slight provocation on your man.
If he hits you, Jesus Christ. It's okay, don't cry. Even at that now, he's in danger.
Oh no, man. Let's not spend this thing. Pick up your bag. Let me save you food.
Oh.
What? Behave.
I'm not happy. Oh. Easy. I'm not happy. What did you cook?
Yes.
Is there chicken?
Yes.
Is there salad?
Yes.
Are you sure? Even at that, I'm not happy. Easy. Survive.
We are feelings, we are like you. Why treat us this way? No to women maltreatment. No to women maltreatment. No to women crisis. No to women crisis. No to intimidation. No to mutilation. Women are beings. Oh, we are feelings. We are like you, Lord. Why treat us this way? No to women maltreatment. No to women maltreatment. No to women crisis. No to women crisis. No to intimidation. No to mutilation.
Yes. It's a go. No, now.
Bye.
This way.
Now, now get this out there. You keep what they call it. You know the answer. Sorry.
Mama.
So you didn't talk. No,
Mama.
understand.
You go, Mama.
No, answer, Mama.
Mama.
I'm thinking.
Yes, ma'am.
Venjo, Venjo.
Yes, ma'am. Mama.
Sit down. My, I need to die.
Mama. This one that you are in my house today. Is anything the matter, Mama?
I don't get wild. Now your wife come back.
My wife?
How she dey say?
Mama, what about my wife?
Nothing serious. No, this thing. I don't come make I go carry and meet Mama Awka. Make we go cut that way they in between woman leg.
Wait, Mama.
Let's happen.
Are you trying to tell me about castration?
I dey talk. I dey talk. Now drama too much. You know say me I no go school. Now that's I dey talk. We can go carry and meet Awka make she, come on the thing.
No, Mama. No, Mama. Mama. I told you this is illegal, Mama. I'm very harmful, Mama. Mama, I know. Things have changed. Mama, things have changed. Mama, she will get the pepper like that. Mama. Wait, Mama. Mama, you're trying to tell me that once my wife is, Mama, she will be loyal, humble, to only me, Mama. Oh, Mama,
Mama, I'm coming. I don't talk. Okay, my God. I won't go carry you go meet Mama Awka. Okay. Make you go cut. Una grandma too much.
That's a concession, Mama.
My teacher, I know sabi pronounce that. Na that one.
God forbid, Mama. Mama, I said God forbid. What type of marriage is this? Mama. Mama, I know this. Mama, I know this.
My wife. Try and see reason in what Mama is.
Yes, my wife. To be so I know. It is not at a time, Mama. Mama, I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't say rubbish. I'm not one Delta man. I feel myself. Feel it straight. Rubbish.
Mama. Mama. Mama, the man of this house. Mama, I'll show you the way that I'm the man. Wait, that woman. I'm a cat. You will go to Mama. I just I'm a cat.
You want to my picking?
Arịrịrịbọla nwaderije, Chukwu okike kpọ, Chukwu biko batara mmasị enyemaka ewo. Arịrịrịbọla nwaderije, Chukwu okike kpọ, Chukwu biko batara mmasị enyemaka ewo. Arịrịrịbọla nwaderije, Chukwu okike kpọ, Chukwu biko batara mmasị enyemaka ewo.
Why you dey cry? Mama, this thing is dangerous. Sorry. You go do am, eh? Don't fear. Say me I do am. Now God dey follow you talk. Mama, be me. People die from this thing. People no dey die. People no dey die. I go do am. You don't do am. In fact, Odega. What can they talk? You don't register.
Arịrịrịbọla nwaderije, Chukwu okike kpọ, Chukwu biko Chukwu biko batara mmasị enyemaka ewo. Arịrịrịbọla Chukwu okike kpọ, Chukwu biko batara mmasị enyemaka ewo.
That's it.
Arịrịrịbọla nwaderije, Chukwu okike kpọ, Chukwu biko batara mmasị enyemaka ewo.
Yes. That's it. Mama, 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 where's my wife? Mama, where's my wife? Mama, is anybody after you? Mama, is anybody after you? Mama, talk. Mama, what's wrong?
Mama, dey bleed, oh.
Mama,
I don't want to.
Mama, what's happened?
Oh.
Mama, what's happened?
Odega, I can't let you touch them. She said, "I hear." Now the bad don't want
Mama, where's my wife? Mama, where's my wife?
to.
Mama, take me to my wife. Mama, take me to my wife. Mama, you are feeling sick. Mama, you have finished me. Mama, you have finished me. Mama, you have killed me. Mama, you've killed me. Mama, you've killed me. Mama, Mama, you've killed my wife. Mama, you killed my wife. Mama, do you know how many important people are invited for my wife delivery, Mama? Mama, Mama, I thought you said this is not harmful. Mama, I thought you said your mother did it. Mama, I thought you said the mother, your mother did it. Mama, what's this? Mama, you said that she's not going to die. Mama, you've killed my wife. Mama, you give birth to another woman now. Mama, you give birth to my wife. She was okay.
Officer, follow me. Follow me.
Mama,
Yes,
I
follow me. Officer, come. There is too much that I killed my friend. They killed my friend.
Yes, sir. Are you a mama? Sir, anything. Sir, for what? I did not do anything. Sorry, sir. She's responsible.
This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. You will be taught a very big lesson so that you will know that women also have rights in the society. Ask them. Don't forget that.
Please, another round of applause for them. That was a wonderful performance by students of the Department of Theatre Arts, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Please, may we put our hands together. Thank you. Thank you. We are making progress, distinguished scholars, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly permit me to welcome Chief Okodele Obimune Ichie Eyisi Obinyelugo Akokalia Naneni. We welcome you, sir. We also welcome Professor Ariza Banusi, the ASU Vice Chair, here present. We welcome you, sir. We welcome you, sir. I also welcome Professor Ken Wogu, former Dean, Faculty of Law and former University Orator. Ogam, I salute you. Thank you very much. Mr. Vice Chancellor and Chairman on today's occasion, distinguished scholars, ladies and gentlemen, we want to get into the business of the day. The first Jubilee academic lecture in the history of universities in the world. It has not been done anywhere. You heard the Vice Chancellor. You know that we are always the first. We are on 31st today, and before June next year, we will be the first in sub-Saharan Africa. Kudos to the Vice Chancellor and his great team, all of us, because I'm involved. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to get into the lecture proper, and that is the reason why we are here, and we are here to be part of this great innovation. Professor Adinma, Brian Adinma, is a special one because he's the one kickstarting this great innovation. We would like to introduce him formally to bring him to the center of the program. But I'm going to call on somebody that will introduce him very well, a great scholar, great orator, UNIZIC 74th inaugural lecturer, and of course, the pioneer professor of neurosurgery of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. He is Professor J.K.C. Emejulu. Prof, may you now come forward for the citation on the Jubilee lecturer.
University orator, Professor Ken Wogu Sigitinyekwe Nambo, former deputy university orator, Ifeanyi, where daba. Mr. Chairman, sir, our Deputy Vice Chancellors, Provost, Your Royal Majesty, Igwe Eze Ugonabo of Nemi. I can see the bossa. Salary mana. Emeritus Professor O. Mbono, Nukumada Kebunenu Nane. My colleagues, my dean is here watching me. I can mention him. My provost, my dean, former deans, former provost. I can see Professor, Ikweze, who is one of my greatest mentors of all times. I feel honored to be called up to read the first citation of UNIZIC's pioneer Jubilee academic lecture. What a great honor, Koba. I mean, if you write the records, Afama Bagona, and I duly appreciate it. Great Jubilarian, Professor J.B. Adinma, Igilige Bumbume. May I have the honor to kindly request that you rise. Jubilee. Because let us prevent any accident or incident. Yeah, good seat. ICT, can you come online? I'm waiting. Prof. J.I.B. Adinma, I welcome you. The citation of this great soul is fairly straight. I mean, the thing is, sometimes the greatest things in life are rather simple. And I keep telling my students and trainees that the ease and the brevity of any academic delivery is inversely proportional to the energy you put in. If you go back and sleep, then you have issues, modeled up program, but if you do it clean, you go straight to the matter, you'll be as brief as the mini skirts, covering only the subject matter. I don't know, does this work now? Can you control it there for me? This is laser, and I won't let it into anybody's retina. I need help. Control my, please help. Sorry for the hitches. All fantastic fan ya ka event na agbagote. Ịma anụcha atụrụ jụrụ dịka ọ bụrụ dị ojite. Na-emekwa etu a, na-eme etu a. Ọ dịka nọ n'Africa, ọ na-emebe. Awka Hacha University of the moment. I go to number 4 by June next year. Okay. Maybe the battery is weak to work. Can you control it from there for me? Please go ahead. The man is insisting I should use it. So I can use it. Beautiful. So here we are. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, with the permission of the chairman, may I have your attention for just a few moments? Professor Adinma was born 8 September 1954. So despite being over 28 years as a professor, he is deeply still looking towards the age of 70. So time, The family is illustrious, Sir Samuel and Lady Cecilia Adinma, both of blessed memory. Umuabani village, then a name, Adishon Igwe Otaleba General. His primary school education is as variegated as his contributions to medical health, productive health, women health, and academics in Nigeria in general. What they call the primary school, called Noele, the foundation of very complicated and vast experiences in the firmament of medical science. You can imagine it started in Nasarawa and then moved over to Oturupo. building Kebi, then Onisha. And that reflects usually the background of the jubilarian. Usually parents are itinerant or immigrants, and the kids cannot help but travel along with them. Secondary school was at Nsukka here. Then he held his first degree, got his first degree, Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery from University of Nigeria, Nsukka. I think most of us can identify with that there. He's a fellow, West African College of Surgeons, International College of Surgeons, Chicago, Illinois, USA, International Society of Surgeons in Basel, Switzerland, Institute of Health Educators of Nigeria. Ifeanyi mean bona etu obuna esi wee chụọ anya ọ dị qualified ikuzi akwụkwọ. Amansi an ọ bụ doctor, ọ bụ consultant na o jiro ka fast na obuna ejiro ama nkuzi. So Oji, Fellowship of the Institute of Health Educators of Nigeria, Institute of Policy Management and Development. And then above all, if you see the beautiful gown he's wearing, donning with his wife, it's not because they are twins or because they are husband and wife. It's because they've attained one of the highest points of medical proficiency in Nigeria, and that is the Fellow of the Academy of Medicine. He was appointed Lecturer 1, 1990, and Consultant Obstetrician and Gynecologist, 1990. And now look at the massive transit from being Lecturer 1 to being promoted Professor in 1995, just a space of 5 years. It tells the story of the academics and intelligentsia in this gentleman. Later, he was head of Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, Sub-Dean, Clinical Faculty of Medicine, Dean of Faculty of Medicine, Provost College of Health Sciences. He was our Provost. Director, Equipment Center for Multidisciplinary Research. Professor Adinma rarely does anything that is not multiple. Director Center, listen to this title again. Director Center for Health and Allied Legal and Demographical Development Research and Training. Saladra. Member of the Governing Council, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, and a member board, Nnamdi Azikiwe University Teaching Hospital in New. He has mentored scores of professionals. I was glad that the university orator brought it to bear, and then the vice chancellor actually gave us the details. That the university had no money to host this very beautiful and pioneer event, and they did not find anywhere to source the money from. But the mentees of Professor J.I.B. Adinma got together and said, "Sir, for all you have done, for all your kindness, your fatherly roles in our lives, control and mentorship, we will take up this bill on your behalf." And this is why we are here. So thank you, Professor Adinma, for mentorship. Professor Adinma insists that the masters are the people who hold the master key. And if you want to be a master, you must go down to that master to collect the master key. So he keeps insisting and he keeps manifesting. To date, he has mentored over 10 professors, some of whom are here. Because let's appreciate that. He has carried out several appointments. He has authored about 132 research papers in national and international journals. And then in 11 books, not 11 chapters, 11 books, he has written chapters on obstetrics and gynecology and allied practices in medical profession. He has attended and presented over 80 conference papers, Nigeria and abroad. Several articles are still currently under consideration for publication. His publications are biased. You could see the little and beautiful drama we watched here. It's all about the life of, women. And we got just yesterday at the Faculty of Medicine, we had a faculty lecture, and luckily, Professor Olivezechi, who delivered it from Lagos, is here. And he was trying to emphasize this same issue of the travels of our women, Igbo land and Nigeria in general, where they are meant to be seen and not to be heard, to be exploited and not to be compensated, to be intimidated and not to be encouraged. And I think all the publications of Professor Adinma have skewed in that direction all these years. Now, he has done groundbreaking works. Look at Adinma procedure. Adinma procedure is development of an innovative method for retightening of the loose circlage stitch for managing cervical incompetence. Maybe I'm not the inaugural lecturer, but to give you a little guide, we have the gates of the womb is the cervix. The womb where baby grows, the gate is the cervix. And occasionally from natural and human factors, that cervix can become very loose. What it means is that each time a baby gets there and gets heavy enough, like from 4, 5, 6, it drops off. And you can see these women having, regular or routine miscarriages. And they will be subjected to this kind of treatment because the task or the onus of procreation is always handed over. The whole box stops at the desk of the wife, forgetting that other factors may be at play. Professor Adinma had defined a procedure to tighten that gate that is open and lock it. When the baby is 9 months, he will go and unlock the gates and the baby will come out. He developed the Dobare postgraduate medical training model, an alternative sustainable training pathway for obstetrics and gynecological specialists in West Africa. Professor Adinma established this center, Chaladrat, in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, and he has received University Senate approval for commencement of certificate training programs in family planning for sustainable development, sexual and reproductive health, for impact of change and health communications on AFIA. Now, he was Commissioner of Health under the time of Dr. Chris Nwabweze Ngige. Onwa insists that you must put Nwabweze, otherwise the document is fake. I don't know whether you remember the story. It should be Chris Nwabweze Ngige, not Chris Ngige. Once he removes that Ngige, then that document is fake. So under him, 2003, 2006, the experiences of Professor Adinma were very deep. I hope he will give us a little insight into his political experience, because the VC is worried about the politics we play. If we ask the Jubileean, he will tell you that these politics have been rooted even 20 years back. His own experiences before he left government were quite instructive. He established the Anambra Healthcare Financing Scheme. Today we are talking about Asia. He established a scheme where there will be free maternal and child health care to the people of Anambra State. Today, such scheme is operational in Delta State, and I heard that at times our own people go there and they chase them back to go and enjoy our own. He established the School of Basic Midwifery at Mpo, implemented the statute, established the Anambra State College of Health Technology with 6 departments. He became the chairman of the governing board. He has facilitated the development 2 executive legal bills. Look at these 2 bills. They marked a change in so many things. Women's reproductive rights law and malpractices against widows and widowers. You know how when somebody's spouse dies, sometimes you go through a process of ablution to prove that you are not the murderer or you are not the killer. He executed CIDA, Canadian International Development Agency grants on emergency obstetrics care, and he was the Nigerian focal point man on the David and Lucille Packard Foundation, sponsored by FIGO. FIGO is International Federation of Gynecologists and Obstetricians, and a Women's Sexual Reproductive Rights Project. Professor Adinma's collaborations with FIGO, he was the 16th president of SOGON. SOGON is the biggest association of obstetrics and gynecologists in Nigeria. It's called Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology of Nigeria. In fact, if you have not heard of it, or if you are not in it, or if you are not prominent, you probably need to think again. And then he has risen to become the president, 16th president of SOGON. Please, can we clap? Can we appreciate it? Now, in SOGON, of course, being an innovator, he brought several changes, a lot of them. He restructured their management style. He called it geo-administrative machinery. I know what that means. You make it possible that there's equity. Positions should be assumed by competence, not by ethnic origin or by geographical location. So all these things we are fighting for today in democracy, Professor Adinma had already instituted it in SOGON. And he didn't stop there. He was the co-chair to the Ministerial Task Force on Accelerated Reduction of Maternal Mortality. Nigeria has one of the highest risks in the world, that each time a woman is pregnant, she will die. Each man, so we have some of the highest rates, and he has played a huge role in that. He mobilized obstetricians in Nigeria, including some of the people here, for the first time to erect a national secretariat for Sogon at Abuja, Nigeria. So he built their secretariat, and that is a great one to him. A lot of other collaborations, IPAS, MSI, United Nations Fund, and then DFID, Planned Parenthood Federation, and PACNET. PACNET is important to know about because it's a non-governmental organization essentially working to promote women's sexual and reproductive health and rights. Together with youth development, making use of 4 thematic areas: service, training, advocacy. Most times we bump into young women who have run into problems of marriage, miscarriage, abortion, which will affect their capacity to be fertile all the days of their lives. He now has an agency that intervenes, gets to these young women, rehabilitates them, restores their confidence, restores their social life, and restores their reproductivity and their fertility. Please, let's appreciate. In fact, I think if some people who are against the proliferation of population of Africans, as you can read, some through vaccines, some if they catch Professor Adinma, probably he will not be their best friend. He has done so much to enhance, reproduction and fertility. Awards, quickly. Professor Adinma was awarded International Who's Who on Contemporary Achievement 50th edition, International Man of the Year 1997-98, Who's Who in the World 16th edition, Man of the Year 1998, Outstanding People of 20th Century, International Who's Who of Intellectuals, Who's Who in Nigeria, Commendation Work for Devotion to Duty, Life Patron, Medical Student Research Group, MESREG. Patron, you see, he just doesn't take care of academics alone. Just the way his wife takes care of him, he takes care of his family and constituency. Patron of All Saints Church Choir at Mpoago, Merit Award winner 2000 for Rotary Club College of Health Sciences, Award of Excellence by University of Nigeria Medical Alumni Association Organization, Justice of Peace 2001, Award of Excellence Best Student Builder of the Year 2002, Award of Excellence 2003, Merit Award, Distinguished Service Award, Award of Distinguished Services, Lifetime Achievement Award, Distinguished Federal Lecturer. There's one I loved so much. It was the first Distinguished Guest Speaker Award in 2014 of the first Emeritus Professor Festus Nwako Lecture Series. Professor Nwako was our first Vice Chancellor in this university. Traditionally, which I'm sure Igwe is looking out to hear, Professor Adinma holds a battery of titles, each of which is as impacting as they sound to the ear. I think Dr. Ifeanyi is here. When people's tympanic membranes have problems, please stand up and help. Number 1, Igirigi Nayondo of Medizik. Ofonye. Igirigi Udo of Amici. So he now extends beyond Newi, Awka, Neni, and gets to Amici. And he didn't stop there. He was called Obata Odelo in Abagana. I'm sure we all know the meanings of these. Diku, one of Okwam Oro in Abia State. Ezani Igiligi Mota of Neni. Ezani Igiligi Udon and Newi. Ezani Ifeanyi Chukuna. Ezani Igiligi Ebumpume and Neni. Very importantly, as I close up, Professor Adinma is married to Professor Dolly Echendu Adinma, Iyom Ugodiebube, a professor of community medicine. And she's here, and in Anya, Odikona Kanyaranya. Ogadi VC. Odika Kanyaranya at all. But in between the us they are available. In between them, we have 5 lovely children, all achieving and prolific. Dr. Zikora, Dr. Neoma, Mr. Munachiso, Barrister Lutafechi, and Mr. Tikwechuku. None is in an English name. No, Kaibadazie to the grandchildren. As young as they look, 7 grandchildren in between. Zonachi, Konaka, and all the rings. Zigozichi, Erima, Chimdindo, Ziora, Yarelum, and also 4 years alafo Ibo Fred Brian Ifeanyi, like father, like son. Not forgetting his amiable sons-in-law, Dr. Fred John and Barrister Obieze, and daughter-in-law Chini. I got my references from the Guinness Book of something. Don't hold me responsible. Mr. Chairman, great jubilarian, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me formally call up the very first and pioneer Jubilee academic lecturer of our university, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, the university of all times, Professor Joseph Ifeanyi Brian D. Adinma, Igligezan, to come and deliver his Jubilee lecture.
I was beginning to feel my head growing bigger and bigger. What we call acquired hydrocephalus in medicine. Mr. Vice Chancellor and Chairman of this occasion, members of the University Governing Council, Senate, and indeed, the academic and non-academic community of this university. Igwe Neni, my Igwe Revered Highness, Royal Highness, Igwe Ugunabo, Ezani, Neni, Chifezude, Awka. These are my colleagues in the traditional realm of Neni. Let me stand on existing protocol, but not without recognizing all the distinguished academics that have come to grace this occasion, including my deputy vice chancellors, including the provost of the College of Health Sciences and his deputy, including the Dean of Medicine, including the Dean of Health Sciences, and all the deans, the academic deans that are here, heads of department, distinguished colleagues, members of PACNET, Women's Health and Youth Development Initiative, great Zikites. Yes. Without the students, we will not be here. And so we were here because of them. I'll also recognize members of my family. My twin brother, Ima, is here. Barrister Ima Adinma is here. He's my twin brother. I want to recognize also one of my son-in-law and the wife. My daughter is here, Dr. Fred John, coming all the way from Lagos. I want to recognize Professor Ezechi. Professor Eleve Ezechi gave the faculty lecture for us yesterday at the Faculty of Medicine. Incidentally, Professor Eleve Ezechi was my house officer. I would want to recognize, last but certainly not the least, my very dear wife, Professor Dolly Adinma. Iyom Ugodi Ebube. Members of PACNET, Women's Health and Youth Development Initiative. PACNET, saving lives. Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to kickstart this lecture, not without, first of all, thanking the Almighty God for making me have the privilege of being the cynosure of all eyes on this August occasion of the maiden Jubilee Academic Lecture of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, the first of its kind in Nigeria, the first of its kind all over the world. I don't need to bedevil the point, but it has to be said. You know, the lizard that falls from a height looks in opposite direction and not acknowledging cheers from anybody, nods its head in self-praise at the feat it has attained under our a meteoric speed, and it is still moving. We are blazing the trail, and we continue to blaze the trail. This is the beginning, but the beginning of things to come, things that are good. Let me thank Professor J.K.C. Emejulu for rendering my citation. He has an eloquent command of the English language, and whenever he has the privilege to let all of us see it, we all see it and we acclaim him. He's a wonderful orator. Professor J.K.C. Nzedi. So I am going to speak today on a topic that is after my heart. I'm talking on righting women's sexual and reproductive health wrongs. Stepping the stairs or staring the steps. It is a very important subject matter because whether we like it or not, women are like spices onto the world, onto the earth. A world without women is like soup without salt. The woman remains the most enigmatic of God's creation. The woman can make up. She has led to the rise and fall of nations. She has led to the build-up and collapse of enterprises. The woman has led to the boom and doom of families. Oh, yes. Talking about the woman, one young man came for an interview. And the interview panel, a member of the interview panel asked him a question. Are you married? You know his answer? He answered, sometimes. And they wanted to know, why did you say sometimes? Then he said, we know sometimes. I said sometimes because sometimes marriage can be in such a way that it shifts you into the realm of mental anarchy and confusion. And you have to sometimes behave as if you are not married to remain afloat the confines of sanity. If we go to the Bible and talk about women, can we talk about Eve? Our mother Eve, who gave Adam the apple, and he ate the apple, and all of us began to sin. Or do you want to talk about Deborah, the great prophetess of God? Or is it we talk about the mistress of Samson, Delilah, who pulled down the great strong man and rendered him to nothing? Or do you want to talk about Jezebel, the wicked queen of Ahab, and what she had to go through with Elijah? Or do we want to talk about Queen Esther, the beautiful queen that saved her people because of her beauty? Or do we want to talk about the Queen of Sheba, who swept off Solomon and got a baby for him? Or do you want to talk about Mary, the mother of Christ, the queen of the world? That is woman for you. We can even move out of the Bible and talk about Cleopatra, the great Ptolemaic queen of ancient Egypt, who single-handedly handled two great Roman generals, the indomitable Julius Caesar and his friend Marcus Antony, to whom, even before 28 years of age, she had controlled two of them and gave Marcus Antony a set of twins, hoping that her blood will take over the Roman Empire. It never worked. But that is the woman for you. We can come nearer home. We can't forget Margaret Thatcher, the first female Prime Minister of United Kingdom, known as the origin of Thatcherism, and of course, her exploits at the Falkland Wars, then coming down here to Nigeria, Queen Moremi, the mother of the Yorubas. Or do you want to talk about Queen Amina, the vicious Hausa queen of Zazao, whose territorial conquests ranged from faraway Zaria to Ida in Kogi State? There is so much to be talked about the woman, but I want to summarize what I have to say about the woman by rendering the poem that was delivered by President Seda Senghor, the first president of the Republic of Senegal. And this poem, which is landmark, was written in French, but has English interpretation. He projected his perception of the Black woman. And that is why the poem was titled Black Woman, Naked Woman. Femme nue, femme noire. Well, it is written in French and in English. I'm going to read it in French. Femme nue, femme noire. Vêtue de ta couleur qui est la vie, de ta forme qui est beauté. J'ai grandi à ton ombre, le dessous de tes mains bondé mes yeux. Et voilà, quoi, de l'été et de midi, je te découvre. And there, in the heart of summer and midi, I discover you. Terre promise to hold on au col calciné. Et ta beauté me foudroie de plein quoi, comme l'éclair d'un aigle. And your beauty thunders my heart like the lightning of the eagle. Femme nue, femme noire. Naked woman, Black woman. Je chante ta beauté qui passe. I sing your passing beauty. Forme que je fixe dans l'éternel. Forme which I fix in the Lord. Avant que le destin jaloux ne te réduise pas en cendres. Before the jealous destiny burns you to ashes. Pour nourrir les racines de la vie. To nourish the roots of life. So, ladies and gentlemen, tell me why I should not specialize in women's health. Having this profound knowledge of what woman and womanhood is all about. And so, I am telling them. I will keep telling them. And let me talk a bit about myself. It was in 1976. I was a first-year clinical student at the time. At the main hall of Enugu campus of University of Nigeria, I attended a symposium. In that symposium, which I cannot totally remember the name, the title of that symposium, but there were two eminent speakers that caught my fancy. The first of them was Professor Wilson Onuibo. He's a Glaswegian professor of pathology. And he spoke so beautifully that there and then, in 1976, I decided I was going to be an academic. Later, the next speaker after him was Professor Chukudebelu. They were not professors at the time, mind you. And Professor Chukudebelu, an obstetrician and gynecologist, spoke on something related to abortion. I cannot totally pinpoint that, but there was a quotation he made at that presentation that never left my brain up till this moment. Professor Chukudebelu stated, and I quote, that as long as there is man and woman on earth, there must be sex. And as long as there is sex, some of them must result in pregnancy. And as long as pregnancies occur, some of them must be unwanted. And as long as some of them are unwanted, some of them must be made to abort. And as long as abortion occurs, some of them must be performed under unsafe circumstances. And as long as unsafe abortion occurs, some of them must end in complications. And as long as complications occur, some of them must end in death. Now you can see what has started as a pleasurable event is now ending as a tragic event of death. That is the tragedy of womanhood. A tragedy that is unsalutary, a tragedy that is not wanted, a tragedy that nonetheless is manifesting every day in this our country, Nigeria, in sub-Saharan Africa. That is the tragedy of being a woman. It is not proper that any woman should suffer death simply because she's trying to raise a baby for us. No, it is unthinkable. But Nigeria that we're in here has one of the highest maternal mortality ratios in the world, as we're going to see later. Every day, almost every day, in hospitals around us, one woman is dying because of pregnancy and childbirth. Look at what has been acted by the actors from theater arts department. That is exactly what happens on a day-to-day basis in this country. Anyway, I finished my medical studies, but I went for youth service. I worked with the Navy. The Navy people liked me so much because I used to prescribe drugs for them. They asked for drugs that will make them strong. I hope you know what I mean by making them strong. You don't know what making them strong. Well, when you grow up, you will know what I said. So the drugs that made them strong. And so when I was about to finish my youth service, the commander asked somebody to send a form for me so I can complete, so that I can join the Navy. That was in 1981. I got the form. I did not complete it because I was still trying to become an academic and a gynecologist. So as soon as there was advert for residency training, postgraduate training at University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, I left. I came for the interview. One of the most memorable interviews I've ever had. Frightening, but memorable. You will not understand what happened. You see, even for my referees, Professor Mbono here was one of my referees to that residency training. But I never really told him what happened when I came for that interview. They had 9 positions for 46 of us who had applied. 46 of us had applied, and they had 9 positions. And out of that 9 positions, 4 people already had primaries. That means their employment was automatic. I didn't have primaries at the time. So in effect, we were contesting for 5 positions. So we stood outside. People will go in, and as they are coming out, they will hold a straight face. And you wonder, what is happening inside the room? People will go for interview. As they were coming out, they look devastated and shattered. Say, today is today. Then it was my turn. I went in. The chairman of that interview panel was one professor, Ifeanyi. The giant, the teacher of teachers. Those of us who are in medical cycle will know who led Professor Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi was even Professor Wanko's boss. So when I walked in, of course, I know I was sweating through every hole in my body. Professor Udeku looked at me from head to toe with a very tight face. He never uttered a word. Even when I greeted, he didn't even respond. I said in my heart, well, God, I did for your hand. So he just bellowed, obstetrics and gynecology. I said, yes, sir. I said, okay. HOD, obs and gynae. Oh yeah, grill him. Hey, I said, grill again. The HOD, obs and gynae, looked at me, had a smile, this cynical smile that he passed on. And then turned and was looking down at his file. He didn't say anything. Then Professor Udeku came up again. HOD, what are you waiting for? Grill him. Then Dr. Nweke, who was HOD, raised his head, turned around and looked at everybody, said, no questions for him. Said, no question for everybody. He just allowed them. When they know I said no question for him because he was my house officer. That was the beginning and the end of my interview into residency training. Then Professor Udeku said, what are you still waiting for? Go now, the interview is over. I didn't even know when I found myself out of the hall. And everybody crowded. How was it? I said, I don't know how it was. I said, what do you mean you don't know? What were you asked? I wasn't asked anything. They could not decode anyway. I just went and sat down somewhere, waiting for a bottle of Coke to cool down. Incidentally, when the result was released, I was one of the people taken. And now I know that God actually wants me to be an academic and to study obstetrics and gynecology. And that I did. From 1981, 1986, I qualified. Again, after the exam, full of energy and full of high spirit, I thought they would appoint me immediately at UNTH. I presented my results to them. The next day, I received a letter from the registrar. Congratulations for passing, but incidentally, we don't have vacancy for you. There's embargo on appointment of consultants. So you go and look for job somewhere. Good luck. Huh? I said, is it so? I started going to look for a job. Worked at Our Lady of Lourdes in Ihiala, worked at Iyenu Hospital. Before a friend told you that Unizik is coming up. It wasn't Unizik then, ASUTech, Anambra State University of Technology. So in 1990, I was appointed lecturer 1 at Anambra State University of Technology. Again, it was very interesting coming into the university system. I never ceased to forget about what the dean then used to tell us. He would call us to a meeting. That was Professor Simon Asogwa. Every meeting ended in publish or perish. I say, perish again. When I was in the university, I used to hear repent or perish. This time around, publish or perish. What kind of life is this? By 1992, we had become Nnamdi Azikiwe University, and Professor Nweke was appointed the first vice chancellor. I went to greet him because he was a great teacher. very great teacher that we admired. All of us wanted to be like him. So when I came to his office, he said, young man, you're here. He used to call me the Navy. Oh, the Navy, you're here, because I used to dress immaculate white and white, with white shoes, white tie, everything white. So he used to call me the Navy. So, Navy, sit down. I sat down. He said, let me advise you, my son. Now you are here. You must mean business. See everything around you as a publishable material and start publishing. I said, oh, Professor Asokwa said, publish or perish. Now, Nwako is saying everything around me is a publishable material. I did not have senior people in obstetrics and gynecology that I could write and give to read. But I found very, very interesting and very useful to me the same emeritus Professor O.O. Mbono, who is sitting here. I will write and give him. He will correct. And I sent, they will publish. Each time I write, I give him, he will correct, I'll send, they'll publish. Then one day he told me, I think you've come of age. You may not need to be bringing your write-ups for me anymore because you write very well. That is coming from Professor Mbono. It was not very surprising to me that by 1995, I became a professor. Between 1990 and 1995, I was a professor. Although it was announced in 1998. But before then, I had held positions as head of department, as the acting dean of faculty. And then by 1998, when I was now announced as the professor, I became the provost of the college. I was moving, I was a member of the governing council of the university. Now, one thing that is certain is when one is appointed a professor, you begin to have this feeling that you have arrived. Everything about you, around you, is small. You're like somebody who has taken cocaine, a shot of cocaine. And won't betide anybody who does not recognize that you're a professor and call you a doctor, so and so. You may take offense. That is the feeling that goes with being appointed a professor. Very so often, people don't ask, what next? You know, there was this music by the OJs in the 70s. They say, now that we have found love, what are we going to do with it? Now that we found love, what are we going to do with it? Now that you've been made a professor, what next? Being made a professor offers you with two options. One, you may traject in a positive way. That is to say, you traject in a particular direction. What I call vectorial trajectory. Vectorial trajectory. You know, in physics, you know what we call vector quantity. Vector quantity has magnitude and direction. So if you are trajecting vectorially, you have magnitude and direction. Otherwise, you could be trajecting scalarly. Scalar quantity has magnitude but no direction. Too many professors have magnitude but no direction. And instead of improving on their being professors, they begin to perish. There are professors that begin to perish until they retire. That should not be the fate of anybody who has attained professorship. You don't stop publishing because you've become a professor. Publishing should be an art. It should be a passion. Professor Mejulu mentioned it. Look for the masters who have the key. They'll give you the key and you open to grantsmanship. Look at this, our vice chancellor here, a very young man, but he is a man that has made money from grantsmanship and is ready to mentor a lot of people. Even today, even as a vice chancellor, he's still writing grants. And people in pharmacy are winning a lot of grants in this university. In fact, sometimes our people begin to envy. They want to go to pharmacy. You don't need to go to pharmacy. The truth is that he had the key. And some people had gone to him, gotten the key, opened and are tapping from the milk of his knowledge. That is what should be happening everywhere, not just in medicine, every department. There are some people who have the key and they're waiting for you to come. But very too often, you're beckoning on people to come and they are running away. They think you're disturbing them. Anyway, it was in the year 2000 that I made the first hit. I got the grants from David and Lucille Packard Foundation through FIGO to carry out this women's sexual and reproductive rights project, which is the area I dwelt on over these past 28 years that I've been a professor. Now, the women's sexual and reproductive rights was carried out by 6 countries, including Nigeria, Ethiopia, Mexico, India, Pakistan. 6 countries carried out this project between 2001 and 2003. We eventually developed FIGO Professional Ethical Responsibility Guidelines on Women's Sexual and Reproductive Rights, which we presented in Santiago, Chile, at the 17th World Congress of Obstetrics and Gynecology in the year 2003. I happened to be the focal point man for the Nigerian project. And what was interesting and made me happy is Nigeria came first, finished first in that project, for which we are given letter of commendation. The letter of commendation was given to us by one Professor Mahmoud Fatala, and arguably regarded as the father of reproductive health. Anybody who is into reproductive health will know that Professor Mahmoud Fatala was the one that coined the definition and is regarded as the father of reproductive health. So let me now go into my presentation. The aim of the presentation I'm going to make is to focus on reproductive health, women's sexual and reproductive rights, and their components. I will highlight areas of sexual and reproductive rights abuses of women in Nigeria, and then talk a little bit of my interventional efforts within these 28 years towards remedying them. What is reproductive health? Reproductive health is defined within the context of the positive definition of health as enshrined in the Constitution of the World Health Organization as a complete set of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity of the reproductive tract, systems, and processes. Now, this is the standard definition of reproductive health, but reproductive health adopts what we call a holistic approach to the management of reproductive ill health, whereby any opportunity seized to talk about reproductive is used to seek information into other reproductive ill health and treat them in totality. Reproductive health is also all about the people. It's not just that simple definition that we gave in the beginning. It's all about the people. Talk about man, woman, boy, girl, Christian, Muslim, everybody, starting from the individual, through the family, through the society, and through the nation at large. Reproductive health is crucial and impacts on certain areas of contemporary global importance. You talk about general health, you talk about development, you talk about economy, you talk about environment, and the status of women. Reproductive health is one clear issue that tracks an individual from the womb through to infancy, through to childhood, through to adolescence, through to reproducing age, and through to menopause or andropause, as the case may be. And this is why it is said to follow the individual from the womb to the tomb, or from the cradle to the grave. And by so doing, it can be said to be a measure of the physical, social, and mental well-being of a future generation. Now, reproductive health is the foremost component of general health. It's the most important component of general health. And it's also a measure of the socio-economic development of any nation. If you want to know how a nation has performed, ask questions about its reproductive health indices. It equates to Human Development Index. Now, I had tried to compare two countries, Nigeria and Singapore. I compared reproductive health for Nigeria and Singapore, and also compared Human Development Index for Nigeria and Singapore. Human Development Index is measured using three parameters. One is life expectancy at birth. The other is literacy rate or literacy status of the country. The other is the GDP per capita income of that country. Now, if you look at the reproductive health indices for Nigeria, look at maternal mortality ratio, 512 per 100,000 live births. That of Singapore is only 8. Look at infant mortality rate. Nigeria is 74 per 1,000 births. Singapore is only 2 per 1,000 live births. Look at another parameter like HIV seroprevalence rate. For Nigeria is 1.4%. For Singapore is 0.02%. Now, look at the corresponding Human Development Indices. For Nigeria, let us take the life expectancy at birth, 55 years. That is to say, any Nigerian born today is expected to live for 55 years only, bearing any accidental injury. 55 years. That is what somebody born today in Nigeria is expected to live. That of a person born in Singapore is 83.5 years. Now look at the literacy status. For Nigeria, 62%. For Singapore, 97% literacy rate. Look at the GDP per capita income. For Nigeria, 5,186 United States dollars. For Singapore, 98,246 United States dollars. So you see, the reproductive health indices have equated to the Human Development Index. And that is why we should be able to get it right in terms of our reproductive health indices. Now, what are the components of reproductive health? What are the things that consist reproductive health? There are 12 components. They're there in the board. I'm not going to read them out for want of time, but you find that most of the things that are done in obstetrics and gynecology are in one way or the other related to reproductive health. Now, the burden of reproductive health is more marked in women and young persons. And that is why any measures that are going to be taken in that direction must focus on women and young people. Then we'll come to women's sexual and reproductive rights. It was at the International Conference on Population and Development in 1994 that a rights-based approach was adopted as a universal policy consensus as to what should be the relationship between reproductive health and development. The rights of the individual became recognized as a single unit of development. It represented what I call a paradigm shift in emphasis within the context of global population dynamics, from family planning and demography to human rights. So if you want to get it right with the development of this Nigeria, it